Hi, this is Cameron. I just tagged and released SourceLink 2.2. So, enable SourceLink support is a feature in Visual Studio 2017. It replaces enable source server support. Both of them allow source code to be downloaded on demand while debugging, but the SourceLink support is a better way to do that. So SourceLink support can also be used to grab, or it's used to get the source code while you're debugging. That's the main use case. But it can also be used to get the source code from exceptions. So here Nick has linked directly to the source code from stack traces. It can also be used to, if it was built into the editors, to be able to F12 or directly link or click into the source code at design time. So ReSharper, when I was using this a few years back, used to do that for source server support from Object Explorer. So that can definitely be built into the editors such as Visual Studio Code or Visual Studio proper. So Visual Studio 2017, the latest update that came out last week, enabled support for Windows PDB files for SourceLink support. So the main thing that enables is there's now a tool that can be used to round trip between portable PDB files and Windows PDB files, and that will unlock legacy systems such as some of them used at Microsoft. So hopefully we're going to see more adoption internally at Microsoft. But currently SourceLink support is gaining momentum. It's been adopted at Microsoft for MS Build builds. It's also been adopted by Google Cloud Platform for .NET and RX.NET, and a few others that you can see linked from GitHub issues for SourceLink. In order for SourceLink to be successful, it's going to need more adoption by Microsoft. There is an open issue for Roslyn that is being worked on, and I had an open pull request for ASP.NET for several months, but I think it's now unblocked due to those legacy systems that I just talked about. So there are also three main known issues that are blocking sort of the major adoption of SourceLink by everyone. So it's kind of difficult to, it's not extremely simple to package portable, the PDB files and the NuGet packages. So there's actually been, this you can see in progress from the GitHub issue. There's also the compilers, when you pass the embed option, this is F#2, when you pass the embed option, the source code is inside of the PDB files, but the debuggers don't actually debug. When you debug into the source code, the debugger in Visual Studio isn't pulling up the source code from the PDB file. And so this scenario is really useful so that when you have generated code files that are not a part of your source control system, you want to embed those code files in the PDB. So the two things work together, the tooling should work together, and the debugger really needs to support embedding source files. This could also be a solution for private repositories, but a better solution, I think, is also to enable authentication support with SourceLink. So the idea is that all the private GitHub repositories, all the private Bitbucket repositories, all the private Visual Studio Online or repositories, you could if you had access to those repositories, you'd be able to debug and see the code while you're debugging. So this would be a killer feature for all those enterprise developers, everybody who's who's working. So every single build from your source control system from your build server should be building with SourceLink enabled. And that way, while you're working on code, you can easily troubleshoot bugs and get to the source code. So nice to haves for in the future would be examples for, this is doable. Right now, the primary NuGet package is SourceLink, the command line. The main package is SourceLink create command line, and you can use that and you can override all of the settings to support for Subversion or Mercurial or TFS. But it'd be nice to have examples or even baked in templates. So future options for SourceLink tooling. It'd be nice to onboard it to the .NET Foundation. I've had this ticket open. I've been trying to get it onboarded to the .NET Foundation. And I've involved other, I've worked with the other creators of the other tools for source server support. So I created SourceLink version 1 for source server support. This is for SourceLink support. The three utilities, the authors, we all work together, and we'd like to see this submitted to the .NET Foundation. So the other possibility is just to bake the functionality directly into .NET SDK. This is a utility application, not something I ever actually cared to maintain, but it's something that I thought that the community could really use to benefit all of .NET and to make my life easier if I could debug into ASP.NET or Entity Framework. I really, really wanted this functionality, but especially private repository support so I could debug into binaries that are within the company that I'm working for. So about me, this is my blog, that's my Twitter. I'm currently traveling the world with the remote year. For the last couple weeks, I am currently looking for a job. It must be remote. So my next job, just the caveat, is my next job might not be .NET. And so it'd be really awesome if we could get this to be a part of the .NET Foundation. The current code base is stable. It's a utility app. It works. But there's ongoing maintenance. It's not a very big code base, but it'd be nice to get it into the .NET Foundation so that in case I do not, my next job is not in .NET, somebody can maintain it and the .NET world can benefit. So that's my update. This is SourceLink 2.2, and enjoy. Thanks.